We might have somebody else join, but they're having a few little technical issues, so we'll see if they join. But before that, let's kick it off with a wristwatch check. Dennis, do you want to kick us off with a wristwatch check?
Sure. So today is a swatch. It's my flower based swatch.
Oh, so, sorry, I didn't have you on full screen then.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Show us again.
Yeah, it's a red swatch, flower bay model. There, I'll take it off my wrist now. It's always easier if I hold it up to the camera. So this is a destination watch from Hong Kong.
Oh, nice.
But I used to have an Orient Kano, but it was too big for me. So this is my new red watch. It's not new. I bought it a while ago. But anyway, so it's my only red watch anymore. So today is a swatch day in honor of their hate at the Morgan Stanley report.
Did you buy it in Hong Kong, or is it just?
No. I bought it from a different destination source called Joma Shop. But where I wondered if maybe they've gotten truckloads of them because China got pretty mad at Swatch when they had that ad campaign that was seen as highly racially insensitive.
Oh, on the Instagram
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah, I think it was China that was the blowback with that. But so I've wondered, because they have bucket loads of these things. If you happen to want one and have less than $100, there you go. There's a red watch for you.
Awesome. Colby, what are you wearing?
I have my Christopher Ward Belcanto Classic on. This is the only watch that I've rebought. Well, I had several versions of the original Belcanto, and then I got a deal on this actually from the Dallas showroom. They had a special customer holiday party, and this was for sale, brand new. And so I got this, and when I saw it in person, I thought it was great, and I thought it fixed some of my problems with the original. So really been enjoying this.
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually have got I can't say what it's about yet, but I interviewed Mike France again on Friday. So there's going to be a huge Christopher Ward release that's coming up. So he hasn't been on for Mike France hasn't. He's one of my. I enjoy interviewing everyone at Christopher Ward, but Mike France is, because he just comes out with some amazing facts about the watch industry. So he's not been on for 2 years. I don't think he's been on the channel for 2 years, but he's coming back, and it's a great interview. So watch out for that. It'll be dropping probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Awesome. So I will round it off with let me pin. I've been wearing my tag, my little tag Aqua Racer. I really like this. There's some amazing deals from Japan on these. I mean, you have to pay an import duty, but you can get them for about $3,000 plus a little bit of an import duty, which is with the import duty, it's $1,000 cheaper than you can buy it direct from Tag, and it's such a great watch, perfect size and everything. So, and then I'll do a little bit of a plug for one of my favorite microbrands, may contain product placement. Put it up there. Veya. So this is Veya's Apocalypse. So does anyone know why? Any of the panel guess why it's called the Apocalypse?
Is it designed to look like the bezel-less watch from Apocalypse Now that Marlon Brando wore?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so they've made it look like the bezel-less GMT watch that he wore, the Rolex bezel-less GMT. Yeah, so you sort of see it's got the crown guards and then the absence of a bezel. And it doesn't come on the very famous style strap that one had on, but I have managed to track one down off the online watch seller formerly known as Cheap as NATO's, but they had to change their name obviously because of that. The guy who patented the name NATO. So yes, so it's got Apocalypse. So I'm going to wait for that. That's coming out now. So
what's he going to change the name to? Like Cheapest Warsaw Pact or what?
Yeah, I think it's just called CNS.
CNS bands.
Yeah. So cheap. It used to be Cheap as NATO straps, but now it's just called CNS.
My idea is better, but he's got to do him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's we've got a little bit of we've got a few topics that we can talk through, but guys, I had this pitched as a Q&A, so keep us keep the questions coming in the comment section. So let's see if we've got. So Kevin, thanks for joining us. Eric, thanks for joining us. Yes, Zin 556 on the wrist. I've still never owned a Zin. Have you? Any of you guys owned a Zin watch?
Yeah, I've owned the 105 UTC.
Oh.
I really liked it. I just didn't like the bracelet. It was before they had added any kind of micro adjust or toolless micro adjust. So yeah, great watches.
Yeah, I think I might have to add one to the collection at some point. Mark, thanks for joining us. Hello, Sam, Dennis, and Colby. And then we've got. Oh yeah, Mark's also said Andrew Morgan. maybe we could talk, if anybody's got any questions about that, maybe they can. I'm happy to talk about it if anybody's got any questions regarding that. Well, I'll tell you what, so let's kick it off with. I found something interesting online, and we haven't talked about it yet. So, well, two things. Well, first we'll come back to Bremont Felix the Cat, but the first one I had was. Swatch Group are displeased, to say the least, about the Morgan Stanley report that came out. So most people, I think Morgan Stanley's the most recognizable, maybe, of the watch ranking companies.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, everybody kind of looks to them. And they made a prediction that Swatch Group's sales have fallen, and actually Omega took a big hit. I think it's like 7% or something. And Swatch Group are very unhappy. They're saying that essentially they've made a lot of assumptions. Now, the reason that apparently Morgan Stanley has to make these assumptions is Swatch Group. Well, first of all, apparently Rolex, Patek, AP are all privately owned, or they're Rolex, obviously a charitable foundation, so it doesn't have to report sales figures. But Swatch Group reports everything all as one. So all of the brands as one. So then Morgan Stanley basically does its deductions and then works out like a portion of what's happening. But apparently they've actually, some of the articles say they threatened to sue, but I think Hodinkee sort of said that they've written an open letter basically saying that they're quite upset about what's happened and some of the assumptions, and they've actually got a good point, because some of the things that they've said is that the Morgan Stanley report, they've estimated that the average. I thought this was interesting because they base things on the average price of watches and then they sort of extrapolate how many were sold. But they've said here that the average Hamilton retail price is 2,014 Swiss francs, which is obviously wrong. And the same with they've used the fact that 2,131 is the average Mido price, which apparently is more like 969. But I guess I'll ask the panel, what do you think this is sour grapes from Swatch? I mean, obviously, cause for speculation, Your Honor, but I don't know whether this is a good look for them going after Morgan Stanley. What do we think?
I honestly, I don't follow the business side of the watch industry that closely. I don't have a lot to say about this. I mean, it makes sense that they could be off on their guesses. I know I've read King Flum and I think Tony Trena both commented on it, and they thought that probably the Swatch Group did have a point in questioning some of the estimates. At the same time, I think it's believable that the sales of Omegas would have gone down. I think, just based on what I'm seeing from especially their prices. So when I saw that ranking, I wasn't surprised, although I personally can't comment on the accuracy. Dennis would probably be in a better position to do that. You've looked at it pretty closely, Dennis, right?
I usually follow the Morgan Stanley a bit. I've done a I did a video on it. I did a live stream where we talked about feedback, and Swatch is right. Like, there's probably plenty to criticize about the Morgan Stanley report's methodology. It's not entirely like they consider it like a proprietary formula, so we don't know exactly how they divvy it up. I've heard interviews before in terms of like they look at the exports, trying to look at it, I don't know if it's tariff or customs taxes. Like they try and pull from a few places, but I think they also factor in statements from brand CEOs and all of that. So it's, so I would say Swatch is right that it's fair to criticize a lot about Morgan Stanley. I think that there's no way that all those numbers are accurate. And especially if you start looking at those average MSRP prices in the report, you start seeing a lot of them that you're like, is this like, where'd they get this from? Like, yeah, Hamilton has some watches that are over 2,000 Swiss francs, but is that really most of them? I don't think so. I think it's like their automatic chronographs. So that's all accurate. But to Sam, your question about the sour grapes, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And their open letter very conveniently doesn't say a lot about Omega. Spends a lot of time complaining about that they got Mito wrong, they got Longines wrong, they got Tissot wrong. Little quiet on Omega, which was all the headlines. I think there's been some suggestion that Swatch might have been, or this might have been their middle ground to kind of convey that they were contemplating litigation against Morgan Stanley. I don't know what country they would do that in. I don't know if they get to sue, if they were to try that, to sue in Switzerland. I don't know how EU law or Swiss law, which is different than EU, of course, works in America. That would open them up to discovery, and then Morgan would get all the numbers because that would come out in the court case, as I understand it. So I don't think Swatch, I don't know if the other countries work that way. I don't think Swatch wants that. So I don't think they're actually going to sue. Plus, they'd have to, again, kind of going off of, and I'm not a lawyer, so don't take any of this as legal advice. My understanding is also they would have to be able to demonstrate that the report being wrong damaged them in some way. Like, did it cost them, does them looking worse in a report cost them sales? I think that's a pretty tenuous thing to try and argue. So they got bigger problems, like the fact that they don't know how to make a watch that isn't 15 meters thick. That was a joke. But, so they're both right and they're both wrong. I've heard some people, some watch journalists that think Morgan Stanley looks worse in this, out of the two. They look worse because they're definitely, like, there's clear errors in that report. So they're the ones that have more egg on their face. But, the bottom line is I don't think Swatch is going to do anything about it, which is why they're muling in a letter. It's the best they can do. And honestly, their share price has been trash for years. Like, that brand is not doing well, even in the eyes of investors. And they definitely won't be very open with investors. I wrote to Swatch years ago asking for breakdown, more detail by brand. And they wrote me back and they said, absolutely not. You get what we give any other investor. And that's broad-based numbers. We're not going to tell you by brand how they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, isn't it? They certainly, if it had been estimated the other way, more sales, they probably wouldn't have written a open letter. But we've got some great comments on this. So James Blonde is saying it's a terrible look for Swatch. They quibble their details, but the doomsday overall scenario, the big picture remains unchanged. Good point. Brassic Time says, if you saw this watch, that watch, Mike noted it was interesting what Swatch Group later didn't say. They didn't deny Longines or Omega sales were down, which is what you just said there, Dennis. Mark says here, in my professional life, I have to deal with Morgan Stanley and its research department, and far from me to stick up for Swatch Group, but I absolutely agree with their critiques of Morgan Stanley, knowing, let's have a look, knowing how MS operate and collate information, they would have piled estimates on estimates and guesses on guesses. Presumably their method will balance out the variance. That's highly unlikely. Interesting. And then Ray Harrison says, I think it's important for organizations to challenge financial analysts. There are often misunderstandings of companies' true operations.
I mean, Swatch could clear this up real easy. They could just release all their numbers. There's no law that says they can't. They choose not to.
Yeah. And then Brent 2181 says price hikes are going to doom most watch companies. I've said this before, I've shared my opinion. I think Omega have gone way the other side of what is. They had such a beautiful niche, I thought, of like tool watches that were good value. I'm not saying they were affordable, but they were. I always felt this Speedmaster was very good value for what you actually got. And now they're to me, it seems like they're just milking it, like because they're like, well, Rolex can do it, so why can't we?
I bought my first luxury watch in 2021. I bought a Tudor Black Bay GMT, but I was considering the Moon watch, and I went into Mayors in Orlando. I was offered that watch for $6,000, and now they're $9,000 retail. It's terrible.
It's wild because that coaxial, coaxial movement arguably is better than what Rolex have. But yet I'm not quite sure why they go. It's not just Omega, isn't it? I mean, Mark says here, Swatch Group doesn't want to reveal the numbers on Omega, Hamilton, etc. That's fine by me. They are holding companies inside Swatch Group. They don't have to reveal and hand valuable information to the competition. That is true. I mean, I think Hamilton, I always used to recommend the Hamilton khaki you prefer watch, because it used to be a deal. That watch, it used to be like an ETA movement, and you could get them, I think, at one time for around $400 or if not less. And the last one I reviewed was $900 for that Call of Duty one, and that lack of AR coating on that crystal. I mean, Colby, you mentioned it to me before I even got the watch. They're like, "Oh, you saw that AR coating," and I was thinking, well, why would that be an issue? But wow, it might as well be a mirror. That the crystal on that Hamilton khaki, unfortunately. I can't quite understand where they've gone, where they're going with. So
there were once, and I think I saw it in a Hodinkee article. In fact, you were using them as your source earlier with the open letter. That the CEO of Omega and his predecessor before him both stated publicly that the goal was to pass Rolex, and they seem to still have that goal in price. But other than that, I mean, you mentioned coaxial. People can talk to their blue in the face about how great coaxial is. The bottom line is Omega's service interval is shorter than Rolex's. So what good does it mean if it doesn't save me any money? Like, it's supposed to reduce wear, but they still say send it in every 6 years or whatever, not 10.
Yeah.
Like, and Rolex ain't the only one doing that. Oris does 10-year intervals on their in-house. So I'm saying, like, it doesn't actually benefit the customer. A fanboy of movements can get all into how cool coaxial is, but like from a consumer standpoint, all it did was make the watches thicker.
Yes. I've never been a fan of the coaxial movements, plus the fact that they have a reduced beat rate because they weren't made to run at 4 hertz.
Yeah, it's interesting because I wonder what is the bread and butter brand for them. I wonder if it is like Tissot or Mido, or I mean, they have like Certina and other ones that do well in different parts of the world, don't they? I don't think you can even get Certina really. I mean, I think Teddy Baldassar was maybe the first online seller that had them or had a relationship with Certina, but. I mean, Tissot must be doing well because of the PRX, unless that's kind of moments finished for them.
No, I think, and I don't remember they mentioned that one specifically in their article. You will sometimes in the financial reports from Swatch Group, they will talk about certain models if they're doing well. A couple of years ago, again, not this most recent one. Yes, they were praising how PRX was doing. Moon Swatch, as we know, did very, very well for them. You'll know which ones are doing well because they try and milk those cows.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's that's what I see going on with the Swatch Group is Omega is their big seller and everything else is suffering. And so I think it seems to me like they're kind of running Omega into the ground because they have to use Omega to try to make up for all their struggling brands.
And I think part of the issue may be, and I looked into this after I heard Mike with this watch, that watch on a different video. I haven't seen his Morgan Stanley one, but he kind of talked about the conflict with the investors in Swatch Group. So the Hayek family and some of the bigger investors that control Swatch Group purportedly are in disagreement on the strategy for the group, with the Hayek family wanting to continue to have this pyramid approach with affordable brands at the bottom and expensive brands at the top. And some of the higher dollar investors have argued they need to go more the LVMH Richemont group, spin off, sell off the cheap brands and only focus on the luxury. And that conflict, I feel like you see it in the strategies where it's a mixed bag. It's like, let's put most of our eggs in Omega, but then occasionally you'll see a whole bunch of stuff for Tissot. Like where do you see the advertising? We see it in Omega the most. I'd say Tissot, Longines, and Swatch, proper Swatch, cheap Swatch, this Swatch. Everything else, like Glasuta, people complained for years about Breguet being neglected. It felt like they came out with some interesting stuff last year, but I still didn't see much in the way of advertising. So it does feel like maybe leadership is divided. I do believe that's probably the case, and it's not helping matters. Though we know the other conglomerates aren't necessarily doing all that great either. What with Baume & Mercier being spun off now, and the rumors circulating that maybe Zenith is next to go.
Well, and I think Omega is also caught in the wrong. They're suffering the most from the so-called K-shaped economy, or in watches, the premiumization of the watch world. So you have watches moving toward the higher end watches selling, right? Whereas the Swatch Group is full of mid-tier to value brands. And so I think they're trying to make Omega their premium brand, whereas, traditionally it's been in that mid-tier brands.
Yeah. And also I don't know how well, I'm guessing not well. I would just purely speculation based on no evidence, but where Rolex does well with its precious metal watches, like it's gold. When people think of a gold watch, they think of a high-end gold watch. They usually think of a gold Rolex, don't they? Or if you see it in films and stuff. Whereas Omega do have gold watches, but you never see them being considered like aspirational. I don't think it's just like, oh, that's cool because it's in gold. But the gold Rolex models seem like people, oh, when I make it, I'm going to get a gold Rolex. You don't hear people like, oh, when I win the lottery, first thing I'm going to do is buy a gold Omega, which is which I think they've all struggled with. It was funny when I was interviewing when Justin from Horology, who used to work at the Tudor Boutique, the last reviews that I did with him, I asked him specifically about the gold Tudor Black Bay 58 and how many those sold. He said they sold, in his time managing the Tudor Boutique, which I think was 4 or 5 years, they sold one of them. So even Tudor, I think, struggles to be seen as the precious metal piece. It's mainly, the high-end brands, isn't it? Patek and...
I still remember for the last Summer Olympics, Stova released like 10 gold watches. And my first reaction, I think I literally said, why? Like, I'm just like, what? Stova with its average price of like 1,200 euros. Why would you have a gold watch? It actually didn't look bad either, but I think they did eventually sell all 10 of them out, but not in the first week because I kept checking.
Yeah. Have you been seeing those people?
Good.
Go on. I was just going to say, there's a lot of people, isn't there, online that are smelting the gold watches now, aren't they? Especially because of the gold prices are insane, aren't they, at the moment? I
thought, what was it, where Yachtmaster 2s were noted to be worth more in their weight in gold than they were selling for secondhand. I don't remember. I think it was some Rolex. I think it was a Yachtmaster. What's the hated Rolex? Yachtmaster 2? I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of Omega, I hate to just be dumping on Omega. I mean, they have some great watches, but I don't feel like they really capitalized on their Olympic sponsorship this time around, because my wife and I watched a good deal of the Olympics, and the name was featured on there prominently, but I don't know how many watches it's actually selling for them. And I think they only released one special edition watch that I didn't see got much press. So,
well, it looked almost like a novel. It was a novelty watch, wasn't it? A white ceramic Seamaster. I mean, Mark, who usually joins on the live stream, he's a huge Omega fan, and he tried that white ceramic on, and he was like, "No, this is not for me."
Yeah.
So Mark's saying smelting a gold watch should be a prison sentence. Yes. Well, I mean, the death of many a pocket watch, isn't it? That my uncle, somebody I know, an uncle of a friend of at work, sent a picture of his pocket watch to me, and I sent it to Patrick at Pocket Watch Time. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a really nice watch. The movement's really high end. The movement's probably worth 500, but the case is worth about $5,000 because it was gold." It's in fact, Patrick, if you ever do come across a pocket watch, if anybody's watching this, Patrick at Pocket Watch Time, he's done 2 really, really good educational videos. One on how to tell if your pocket watch is gold plated, or if it's actual gold. It's quite interesting, actually. It goes into quite a lot of depth. It's perhaps not as easy as you would think. I'm sure there's a lot of people that think they've got gold pocket watches, but they're just plated. And it's the plating on them is done in years. So like a high-end plated watch has a wear time of 20 years, where they estimate the gold will have worn off within 20 years worth of use. But then the low end is like a 5-year. Did anybody else know that? It's quite interesting.
I saw one of his videos on it, and I got confused, so I don't remember how to do it. All I remember is that like pocket watches are often too old to necessarily have gold hallmarks on them. So that was part of the struggle. Whereas nowadays you would expect to see hallmarks on anything made with a proper amount of gold, and then that hallmark noting as well as the level of gold.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Instagram took I think it was one of the Breitling emergencies, because they made those in gold. So I mean, there's a lot of gold in that. Those watches are huge. And they smelted it down, and just kept the movement.
Plot of that is that like if you're in an emergency and stranded, you can like hawk it for money.
well, yeah, it's twofold. So first of all, you rip the aerial out so you can get the Coast Guard, and then when they say, "Oh, that's 20,000 euro, please, for bringing the Coast Guard out," you can be like, "Well."
You slide the watch over to him on the table.
It's like
well, how about one of these? Haven't you ever, when you're like getting to retirement, gone, "Gosh, I want a gold emergency"? That's just I've just aspirational.
Yeah, I was watching I watched that Sean Ryan podcast. He's like he was the guy's ex-military. He was in the CIA and stuff like that, and he talks. He wears a Rolex, and sometimes he'll have people on, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, well, you know, a Rolex will get you out of any trouble." But then he had that guy. I forget his name. There's a guy who was also an ex-spy. He had like big bushy hair, but he's since cut it back. He's been on loads of podcasts. But he was saying that what he does, he just wears a normal watch and then just carries money with him, because he says sometimes, like, you know, if you need to get a taxi quick out of a dangerous situation, you don't want to give a Rolex over. Like, not everything is a Rolex emergency. So he said he just has he had a belt with a zip on it with like $100 bills in it. Yeah. And he just wore like a normal watch because he said he didn't want to bring.
Fair enough, but just take your screwdriver with you and just give him a link, one of the gold presidential links. Like, this trip's worth a link. Like, there you go.
Yes. Or just I'll get your teeth capped in gold, and you can just pull one piece off. Yeah, guys. So keep any questions coming in the chat. Very interested to know your opinion on the Swatch Group. But one of the other things, actually, I don't know if anybody else has seen this. I've become a fan of Bremont after owning one. But they released the well's running dry from characters, isn't there, that you could put on watches now? But they went all in with a Felix the Cat watch.
I don't know Felix. I'm sorry.
You don't. Yeah, it's because they're supposed to be like Felix the Cat must be from the 1920s, was it?
Yeah, I think it was like a Depression cartoon character.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was on the side. I think it was on World War II planes and things like that. I mean, maybe that's like what some of the many characters. I think some of the Disney characters use in World War II planes as well. But yeah, they've kind of gone all in with this Felix the Cat. They did a very sophisticated animation and things like that, and I don't mind it so much, except for obviously they put it on a DLC coated watch, which I just can't do. There's something about DLC coated watches. I just can't do them. I don't know. Anybody else have DLC weirdness about DLC coating. Maybe it's just because they can look cheap, can't they? A watch that's like totally blacked out.
I don't like the look personally.
I have one watch that's DLC coated. The only thing I don't really like about it is I scratched it at the spring bars, so you could see the steel through it.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is they're scratch resistant, but if you do scratch them, you can't get it out.
No, it'll have to be refinished if I want it refinished, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now that Shinola can't sell you any shoe polish to polish it out.
Actually, what I did is I used one of these. I might have it here. Okay, so Sharpies. You know Sharpies, right? Sharpie? All right. They make an industrial one, a red label Sharpie, and when these dry, it's permanent up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So I used this to stain it.
But does it dry? Because they dry like sheer, don't they? They have almost like they look like dried oil, don't they? They have like a sheen to them. Does that one dry matte or?
It did dry relatively matte, but it's not perfect, but it doesn't let the steel color shine. So I just need, again, it's at the lug, so it's not like the biggest deal in the world. It's just enough that I won't notice when I glance.
Yeah. So Brent's saying Bremont, another disaster. So I think actually, I've got a Bremont. So I used to really give them a hard time. Like I think some of the marketing things they did were ridiculous, but they have actually been a little bit more sensible about their watches, because they have I have a GMT, the S303 306 or 305. But their new ones, you can get a GMT, which I think they might be Sellita based, but you can get them for about 4,400 direct from them, which I don't think is a bad price. One of their GMT dive watches. I think actually even these titanium chronographs, which, in a world where every brand all the major brands have decided that chronographs are somehow $7,000 now. Bremont at 5,700, I don't think is doing too bad for a fully titanium.
I mean, I like this is. I don't like Bremont as a whole. I wasn't a fan of their rebranding like a lot of people. I really like this model. I think this model looks really sharp. I would buy this. I wouldn't pay $5,700 for it. I don't see Bremont as above Tudor. I don't see them as a competitor with Tudor. I see them as equal to or below Tudor. But yeah, I love the design language of this watch.
Yeah.
So this is the usual one, and the Cat one costs $1,000+ more.
Is that right? Yes. Yeah.
I mean, looking at Teddy's site, $6,850 is the price of a Brightly Navitimer GMT on bracelet. Like, Bremont needs to remember their station.
No, you're well, actually, to be fair, no, you are right. Yeah, it's the same watch, isn't it? It is the same watch. They've got it in a stealth grey 6,600, but that looks like it has a meteorite dial. Is it a meteorite dial?
Sam, what's the movement in those?
I think they're ETAs. Let's have a look. They give them their own denotion, don't they? Their own demarcation.
Because they added a rotor or something.
Yeah, the B114AH. So let's have a look.
But a 68-hour power reserve. What could that be?
Let's see if let's see if somebody's broken it down. Let's have a look.
I mean, I'm just saying that seems like a lot for a really old cat.
And they didn't. Somebody pointed. Mark pointed. And they didn't even have to pay the rights for him because he's in the public domain now.
Okay, I was gonna say, if it's that old, it sounds like it'd be public domain, and
Yeah, it's funny. I like Amazon Prime because they've got all the trashy like horror films that come out, and since Popeye has come in the public domain. There's about 5 Popeye-related horror films.
Or the Winnie the Pooh ones. Did you see those?
I still haven't seen
Blood and
that one.
Honey, yeah. And the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse as well. They made it into a few horror films. Yeah. So Mark's put in public domain, and then Junior's saying I watched Felix the Cat when I was younger. So yeah, I think I remember him being on in the 80s when I was a kid. I think I remember cartoons, and there was that clock, wasn't there? That famous clock with where the tail was the pendulum and the eyes moved. I think that was based on Felix the Cat. So Ray says Bremont has always been plagued with the whole in-house movement scandal and shadow. Yeah, I mean that was an off-the-cuff comment that one of the brothers made about the movements being in-house when they weren't. They were modified ETAs, and that has haunted them ever since then. They made some other silly marketing moves as well. During COVID, a lot of the British brands sort of banded together to raise money for the NHS, the National Health Service. And Fairer, their whole brand identity was the Land Rover Defender, and they used to drive Land Rover Defenders with Fairer on the side. And they auctioned off a Land Rover Defender and one of theirs and gave the money to the NHS. Whereas Bremont sold this ridiculous like bracelet thing with the Bremont logo on to raise money. And it was like, read the room, guys. You know, you're selling a 20, and when they say the profits, it's like, come on, behave yourselves. You know, if you're going to donate money. Don't make somebody buy a bracelet with your logo on it. So, the Kit Kat clock. Yeah, Eric, was I right there? Let me know in the comments or message me if I was right that it was based on Felix the Cat. I believe it was. And
if he was wrong, don't tell him.
Yes, don't tell me. They used to put Felix on fighter planes in World War II. Yeah, I think that's where the link came from. Okay, let's stop showing that. So yeah, I mean, other than that, we were maybe next week we'll get some of the guys on that because it's British Watchmakers show, wasn't it, this week, this weekend, which looked like it was amazing. Todd, hey. Oh, I can hear myself echo there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm echoing.
Echo.
There we go. How's it sound?
Yeah, good. Oh no, I can still hear myself. Oh, it's all right. We can live with it.
All right, I can switch to a different headphone here.
It doesn't sound like it's going through a headphone. Yeah, like it's going through speakers.
Hold on.
Yeah. I can perhaps I'll put the I'll tell you what, Todd, I'll put echo cancellation on. Oh no, I can't. I can't change it while we're live.
You have to embrace the echo.
Embrace
that's how life works.
I know. Because I definitely didn't get into YouTube, so to hear my own voice or anything. That was quite funny. Yeah, guys, any more questions for the panel? Let us know in the comment section if you've got anything for us. Todd, if you can hear us, what are you wearing?
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes.
Much better. I am wearing usual 2-watch thing. Been wearing this all day, pretty much. It's a Seiko turtle, which the Seiko guys hate to use the word turtle on this, but I am. This is one I bought in the Caribbean, so this is a special model from you could only get in the Caribbean at the time, which is pretty cool. It's a nice blue dial, but this is a pretty cool idea, a pretty cool one. So a lot of you would see this. This is because I'm such a weird collector of Seiko-like things. So if you see this, it kind of looks, I tried to get the focus. I got to get a better camera now. Yeah. Kind of looks like a 6139 quote unquote Pogue, right?
Oh, yeah.
But this is really a Sorna. So you know the Easy Rider chronographs that were done once upon a time in Switzerland. They make big ones. Sears made them. Jackie X. This is actually a Swiss watch. It was licensed from Seiko for the design, and it has a pin lever, a 17 jewel movement in it. So they're not really serviceable, so much, although I'm going to try to find somebody to do this. But this is my third one, so I have 2 other chronographs that are Swiss made that are licensed from the Seiko design. And yeah, there you go. It's the same. It's right. It's exactly the Leonidas did. There's a bunch of these. In fact, people
there used to be a deal these on. You used to be able to get them on eBay, didn't you, for quite a deal, especially the Jackie X one. But yeah, they were. Yeah, there's the Sears one at the bottom.
There's the Sears one.
But yeah, they're basically, that's right, isn't it? If they break, they're done for.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. This one isn't running real well, but the dial on it is perfect. And I bought it from a guy that does a lot of Seiko stuff in the UK. And so I'm going to see if I can find somebody to work on this pin lever movement. But yeah, that's one reason they're such a deal, is because if they break, then like you said, almost nobody works on them.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That with Sears on the dial, that chronograph. And they're massive, those, aren't they? I think I've seen one, and they're huge.
Yeah, these are huge, and they're also made out of fiberglass. The cases aren't even metal; they're fiberglass. Right? Yeah, at least a lot of them are, I believe. So anyhow, mine has that same movement in it. It's a tiny movement too, inside that big honking thing. So yeah, we'll see if I can find somebody to take a look at this, but. Fun stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know if this is a website that just is dedicated to these watches, but yeah, you're right. Fiberglass monocoque case.
Mm-hmm. These were the Switzerland came up with these. This is like a little Swiss watch history here. They came up with these so that you could like buy a Swiss watch because they were made in Switzerland. You could buy a Swiss watch on your trip to Switzerland without spending a lot of money.
Wow, and they've got the original tropic straps on them.
This
look at that
one
Hoyer
is full.
On it.
Wow. Yeah. Hoyer made a version of this. Yeah. Through, I guess it's through the United States. Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
This was the original moon swatch then. Plastic.
These were the original plastic moon swatches. That's exactly right. So anyhow, I didn't mean to take over the show here with this, but
no, that's a good bit of. I had actually forgotten about them because Stephen, who joins us occasionally on the live stream, I think he collected them at one time.
Mm-hmm. Some people are trying to get all the versions you saw. I mean, I'm a weird person trying to collect Seiko chronograph variants, but people try to collect those, Easy Rider version things and try to get all of them, and it's a big deal if you get them in the original packaging. It's like, and they'll spend a lot of money on these things.
Let's see if let's just see. Oh no, I was looking on eBay, but all it is pictures from the film Easy Rider. Let's see if we can find.
Look up Jackie X or use up one of those. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Here we go. So here's one on the old eBay. Here we go. So yeah,
Dennis is wearing a moon swatch. It looks like, or
a regular swatch.
A regular swatch.
I'm too cheap for the moon.
Pre-moon, pre-moon. Yeah, there you go. There's a Sears one.
There's a Sears one.
That's in the UK. So it's $507.99 US, 44 mil, vintage Sears watch, working perfectly, and all the dials function. There you go.
Yeah, the cool thing is, like, I've got. Hold on, I'm gonna drop this. Reach. Hold on, reach behind me. I've got your watch here, Sam, that I have put up on the Seiko. The Seiko Citizen Watch Forum.
Oh yeah.
So here's yours, and then if I put them side by side, even though mine's a gold dial, but it's the same. I'll try to make this see if the camera will do it right. But you can see they're
not far off.
Yeah, the cases are identical, and the outer bezel is identical too. They're interchangeable, actually.
Oh, very cool.
Let me get a little closer, but yeah, it's kind of funny how this works. It's even on its original.
Oh yeah.
Band. So
very cool.
Yeah, this is one of my weird oddities I do. So, anyhow,
so
what are you guys talking about?
We will talk about Morgan Stanley, but we've got a couple of questions coming through. So Eric says, anyone know if a Hamilton pacer can be repaired? Needs a battery retainer and a second hand.
Is that the electric Hamilton, right? The original pacer?
Do you know who, Eric, I do know this. I do know somebody who repairs quartz Hamiltons. I interviewed him on the show and now I can't remember his name. It was a long time ago. Eric, if I can remember, I'll go through my archives because I know somebody who repairs vintage Hamiltons. I don't know if he still does it, but he did it 5 or 6 years ago. So then Mark's asking, Formula One question, is TAG getting its money worth from the sponsorship? For what it's worth, Rolex doesn't seem to have been harmed by letting the F1 sponsorship go. So, I mean, obviously this is going to call for a lot of speculation. But, yeah.
I don't know. I guess you'll have to ask the 15th CEO of TAG that they've had since they got the sponsorship.
Yeah, that's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? That was a bit of he went sort of in the night, didn't he, the last one, based on...
it was, yeah, I don't know. They've gone through, it was been 6 and 4 years or something. I don't know what's going on with TAG. I haven't looked to see how I don't remember how Morgan Stanley said they did or didn't do. I think they said they dropped, but not by a whole lot. Because TAG had been projected by Morgan Stanley to have a lot of growth the prior year, if I remember. Maybe it was the year before that. I don't know. I've seen so many Morgan Stanley reports. So was it worth their money? I'll say no. But yeah, no, Rolex never needed this. Like, who buys a Rolex because Formula One's sponsored by them? There maybe is someone, but I don't know anything about Formula One, so.
Yeah, I got a bit of unverified. This is rumor, but from somebody who is acquainted with the Rolex industry, was saying that they're having a terrible time with the land dweller actually getting it, the actual process of making them correct, actually getting them out the door. That's why you've never seen any of them.
It's going to be like the thing about the Pepsi dial. We don't remember how to merge red and blue ceramic anymore. Oh my gosh, what's going on? It's like Greek fire. It's lost to us, to the annals of history. We don't know how to merge colors.
Right.
I'm like, just discontinue it already so I don't have to hear this anymore. Just let it be fine. Fine,
and meanwhile,
it's too hard.
Meanwhile, like 3 microbrands have their own version.
Yes! Everyone's like, guys, come on. What is this?
They stole it.
There are plenty
they stole
of
the
reasons.
secret formula.
There are plenty of reasons for why they might discontinue it. But the notion that Rolex is like, oh, it's just gotten super hard. Like, either it always was hard or it never was hard. But this, like, it got hard.
In this economy, trying to merge red and blue?
That's good. They all keep pulling out purple.
It doesn't work.
Well, it's, do you know, I think it's Peter at Nomadic, the founder of Nomadic Watches. Just to plug my own content again, when I interviewed him, he actually explained why it is difficult to merge the two, but he does it. It's because you have to fire them at different temperatures, which is hard to do. The different color ceramics are different, but like you said, Jack Mason does it.
Right.
I mean,
for $1,000.
Yeah, it's like, I appreciate a good, an enamel dial. I understand like those crack, but enamel dials have been in plenty of affordable watches over the years too. It doesn't mean it's an expensive thing. It might cost you a number of attempts to get one done, but people act like these are like $1,000 a bake session or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I suppose when you've got a bunch of people looking at, a couple of dollars here, a couple of dollars there of what it costs them, they're like, well, maybe we would make more money if we just did these as a single color rather than and then turn it into a financial decision.
But I didn't know people weren't seeing the land dweller. I haven't really paid attention to it. So,
yeah, that was just a rumor, speculation, not opinion.
Well, I haven't seen one in the wild, so maybe it's true.
Yeah, it's funny on my Rolex, both my Rolex uploads. I kind of introduced it just saying that this is the personal opinion of the person I'm interviewing, and everyone's like, "Whoa, why did you go over the top?" Like saying, "Why did you go over the top doing this disclaimer?" I'm like, "Are you joking?" They're like, Rolex has got an army of lawyers I know I won't mention who it is, but there's a good friend of mine in the YouTube space, YouTube's a YouTuber, who got a cease and desist from Rolex because all he did was show a clip. He was on holiday or something, and he showed a short clip of somebody selling clone watches, like a store or something. I forget where it's somewhere abroad. And they said, "Can you please take that down?" So yeah, I was very, very careful about that.
But I do know, going back to tag real quick. So I talked to Dean Bump in Little Switzerland in St. Thomas about it, and he says his tag boutique is doing amazingly well. He said it every day they do large sales out of the tag boutique there.
Now, it's always hard to know.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, with the sponsorship, I mean, that's more about brand awareness than anything. So I don't know anything about advertising really, but I imagine it's a little bit difficult to quantify the return on investment there.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, it's actually surprising. I think it's easier for a watch YouTube content provider like myself to actually give real figures to an advertiser than it is, because YouTube actually has it built in there that you can run a report off and it will show, your how much penetration your content has, which is quite interesting. But yeah, in fact, Todd, we were talking about this at the start about the Morgan Stanley report and about how Omega's really upset about the way that they downgraded them. So, does Dean Bump sell? He used to sell Omega.
They still sell Omega. But to your point, this was happened a couple of years ago. They got rid of their Omega boutique and they switched over to Tag, so they can still get Omega. They're still an authorized vendor for Omega, and I imagine they may still have some, but they don't really push Omega very much anymore. It's they do Tag, they do Cartier. They do they do Patek Philippe. Actually, there's a whole Patek Philippe little section, at least they used to, but they don't really push Omega anymore. It wasn't I guess doing as well.
Yeah, and somebody on Watch Crunch was mentioning that they showed a picture of that new Seafarer tag, and they were saying that only 2 so far have made it to Canada. He was in Canada and he said, only 2 have made it to Canada and one of them's for sale. So apparently that tag boutique that he went to in Canada was saying that they have no idea if they can get one. Like they're going to be very hard to get. That's the new champagne dial Seafarer.
It looks pretty nice. I liked it. Though I wouldn't have much use for a tide function. Unless it will tell me about my laundry tide.
Oh, now I'm definitely going to have to put the may contain product placement. Other popular washing detergents are available.
You didn't know I was in cahoots with Big Procter and Gamble. All part of my brand awareness.
Big Tide.
Sam, speaking of the Morgan Stanley report, can I bring up another thing that I noticed from the report?
Oh, please.
And it's we're obligated to mention it on this channel.
I knew someone was going to this up. I'm glad it's you, though, Colby. I'm glad.
Yes, thank you. This is my function here. Christopher Ward appeared on the chart for the first time, which makes sense. I mean, based on everything we know about Christopher Ward's sales, but also it's like, I'm a little proud of them. It's like watching your hometown friend go and make it big in Hollywood or something. So I thought that was good for them,
I won't spoil the interview with Mike, but I did actually ask him that. I said, "Oh, that must be quite a premiere." I said, "Oh, you're in the top 50," which I think they're 47th or something. He said, "Oh, yeah, well, by volume, actually, we will be in the top 20." So exactly the type of response that the type of humble brag that Mike's so amazing at doing. And he did confirm actually he's going to be at the New York Wind Up this year, which is good because I think he missed a couple of the US shows last year. So yeah, it's that was pretty cool, wasn't it, to see them on there? And,
we just had to fulfill our obligation, our contract with Christopher Ward to mention them at least twice.
I guess we'll have to see in the interview. He thanks Sam and you all for bringing them up constantly as at least giving them one higher rank than they would have otherwise been.
Well, yeah, this is the beautiful thing because Christopher Ward have no idea that we are their unofficial marketing arm.
It's better than a Formula One contract,
That's
I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper,
We
too.
decided that they're sponsoring us. Not they haven't reached out to us. These are philanthropic preemptive sponsorships. Oh yeah, so said the CW sales figures were very specific. Yeah, I mean that's Christopher Ward is just open, aren't they, with that?
Yeah, no, I heard on a podcast that they speculated they had to have called them up, and Christopher Ward just flat out told them exactly how many units they moved. It's down to the specific unit; it's not rounded.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I would too. If I felt like I should be in the chart, I would call them up.
Yeah, it's I mean, Mike comes from that, a full lifetime career in retail sales and stuff like that before he even started. Christopher Ward, he was very successful in multiple different industries, so he knows that how important that type of thing is. We actually went into some depth talking about that, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's I reviewed that Pan Am Clipper, the one with the misprinted bezel, and they hadn't asked for it back for ages. And I thought, I wonder if I got away with this. I wonder if they've forgotten that I've got it, because I was like, how valuable could that be in like 15 years of misprinted Christopher? If they keep climbing up the dial, if you had like a misprinted bezel Rolex, you'd be sat on a fortune, wouldn't you? Where this misprinted bezel Pan Am, but Patrick, he found me out the other day. He's like, oh, I forgot to send you a label for that watch. I'm like, oh.
Speaking of channel success, Sam, so are you gonna like start up a special review Patreon to make room for more top 10 lists here on the main show? Or like,
I've decided that every review that doesn't do well, I'm gonna put behind a paywall, and they have to pay for it now. That, of course, is a joke. If you've not seen my Andrew Morgan, if you've not seen my Andrew Morgan video, that won't make sense. I'm not putting anything behind a paywall. In fact, I've been getting some good comments on that. I got a funny comment yesterday where somebody was saying they were quite enraged that I'd made clickbait, and that they said that if I'd had if I'd taken issue with Andrew Morgan's upload, I should have emailed him back privately. Which I don't have his email anyway, but I get the point. But it's quite funny because I was like, oh, that's quite ironic, because I made a video about his clickbait. So we were like in clickbait inception. This guy seems
clickception, yeah.
And yeah, I wrote back to him and said, well, I gave my email in the upload, so shouldn't you have contacted me privately first before you left a comment? So it's interesting. It's what counts as a call out and what doesn't.
But it was an interesting video. I actually saw yours. I don't think I've seen Andrew's original video. I've seen he's done a follow-up, and I saw that. But yeah, it was
I don't normally make content, obviously, talking about other YouTubers, but it was a kind of a spur of the moment thing, because I did take umbrage with what he said, honestly, and that's the reason that I did it, because normally I wouldn't. I don't particularly. Yeah, I know there's a section of YouTube watch community where it's watch YouTubers that are, getting views off bashing other watch YouTubers, and we don't do that on this channel, and I don't even think I was really bashing Andrew, to be quite honest. I think I was just giving my opinion on it. But yeah, I did. I mean, it bothered me that much that I kind of broke my 10-year hiatus of not talking about other YouTubers in anything other than a positive way. But there you go. So check that out if you've not seen it. Cool. Well, we're kind of coming to an end here, but that was great. A big thanks to everyone who asked. Oh, actually, sorry, one last question. Here's Thomas is coming in on the wire here. Does the panel think that the new watch dial color will be popularized at an upcoming Watches and Wonders? Oh, like a new watch dial color.
I'm wondering if he's thinking like, is Watches and Wonder? I don't know exactly the question. Is the question asking like, is a new fad color going to be launched at
Watches like a purple or something?
I don't think this year we'll have a fad color. I don't think there will be one like, oh, this is the year of green. We had 2 years of the year of green, or maybe we'll see like a fad complication or something instead. Like, will this be the year of the jump hour? Meistersinger just put out a jump hour. Their jump hours every year, so it kind of feels like we could say that whenever we wanted about anything. But I kind of wonder. It does feel like we're a little due for, we had the integrated bracelet era. We had the bronze case watch time. We had the blue watch fad. They never really fall out of fashion, but there was a time where everyone was doing blue. Green went for like 2 years. But I don't think it's going to be a dial color. I think it's going to be maybe a feature, maybe the year of the GMT or something.
Yeah, so apparently Chris thinks it's going to be burgundy, which there is quite a lot of burgundy Cartiers. There's a few tanks, I think, that have a burgundy.
JLC has a few.
Tudor just released the burgundy Black Bay 58.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, it was at last year's Watches and Wonders. I still want to try on that bracelet. I keep forgetting to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's like a metallic burgundy.
Yeah, it looked pretty nice, but I like red, which is why I have my red Swatch on.
Yeah, that the Jubilee that it's on is as good as the Rolex. I think they're incredible. The Tudor Jubilee bracelets. Well, I don't think they call them 5-link or something.
Yeah, 5-link.
Yeah, I like that. I like the dials.
Just needs a date.
Yes, it does. And of course, it just needs a date. Well, this is the Tudors. Is it Tudor's 100th? At the Tudors 100th?
Yes. That would be a good episode. Predictions for Watches and Wonders, including Tudor's 100th.
Yeah, we could right now try and guess, just sort of like, what is your prediction on the number of new Black Base and Pelagii to be launched at Watches and Wonders, all in honor of the 100th anniversary?
Well, yeah. I mean, one thing's for sure, it's not going to be a Tudor sub, is it? I think that's. that would break the watch community. I know, Justin, who used to work at Tudor Boutique, who I interviewed, he thinks the North flag is due its time back in the light.
I don't see it. I'll give you a prediction. I predict they will not launch a new line or restore an old line at Watches and Wonders. I think it's all going to be rehashes of existing lines, just new variants.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the 1926.
Yeah,
a refresh of that.
Do a third complication. I mean, they've got the Moon Phase one now, but they could do something with the Tudor Prince also, I suppose, if they want to make it feel a little different without really being different. But I mean, even Rolex, like when what was it, like the 50th anniversary or 60th anniversary of the Explorer 2, and I can't even tell it apart from the last version. It was so identical. And I was just like, I know it's not one of the more popular models, but I was more than a little disappointed that they didn't even try. And if they won't try for Big Daddy Rolex, they ain't going to try for Tudor.
Yeah, but 100, you got to think they're going to do something for 100.
I do. I think we're going to get a burgundy. Well, we already did burgundy. We'll get a burgundy Tudor 1926 and a burgundy Pelagos. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, they did that big block chrono as well, didn't they? They did that one for one watch, wasn't it, where they made the gold one and they remade the movement. So maybe there's a chronograph movement waiting to be put in a main line.
I'm going to predict right now a collaboration between Tudor and Christopher Ward. That's my off the wall. No one will expect that prediction, so we'll see if it comes true.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I'm trying to imagine what the merger of design language is going to look like.
Yes, I am too. Actually, a fixed lug belt.
Here's the 12 with a snowflake hand. Like that's how I'm seeing it.
It'd be Sam's worst nightmare with no date. No date.
Oh, yeah. Outrageous. Yes. Awesome, guys. Well, big thanks to everyone big thanks to the panel. Big thanks to everyone in the comment section. And we will see you next week. I'm traveling a bit, but I think I will be back for next week. So a big thanks to everyone for watching. Big thanks to the panel, and we'll see you next week on Casual Watch Talk.